San Carlos de Bariloche, usually known as Bariloche, is a city in the province of Rio Negro, Argentina, situated in the foothills of the Andes on the southern shores of Nahuel-Huapi Lake. It is located within the Nahuel-Huapi National Park. After development of extensive public works and alpine-styled architecture, the city emerged in the 1930s and 1940s as a major tourism center with skiing, trekking and mountaineering facilities. In addition, it has numerous restaurants, cafes, and chocolate shops. The city has a permanent population of 108,205 according to the 2010 census. According to the latest statistics from 2015, the population is around 122,700, and a projection to 2020 dates to 135,704. The name Bariloche comes from the Mapudungun word Vuriloche meaning, people from behind the mountain. The Poya people used the Vuriloche Pass to cross the Andes, keeping it secret from the Spanish priests for a long time. There is evidence of the existence of indigenous settlements on banks of Lake Nahuel-Huapi, in the area now occupied by the city of Bariloche, prior to arrival of expeditionaries and white settlers. During the Neolithic, the arrival of human beings to Nahuel-Huapi region occurs. The archaeological and historical record speaks of Tevelchers and Puelchers' presence in the area. With the process of Arakanization and mainly since the 17th century, the culture of these groups is strongly affected by Mapuches, who increased their presence from the settlement of Spaniards in Chile, and his continued push east. At 19th century end, in the vicinity of Nahuel-Huapi, only a few scattered indigenous families were there. People of Inacayal had been stripped of their lands and transferred to Teca when the cacique was taken prisoner. Caruhinca had made an act of submission to Argentine government with his own. Some Nagilatun was still being celebrated. But the region was beginning a new stage in its history. Although incorporated into national sovereignty, the Nahuel-Huapi area began to develop fundamentally linked to Chile. Before 19th century end, when the border was still in dispute, people from the south of the neighboring country were gradually arriving to settle in surroundings of the lake. Small farmers were most of them from the island of Chiloé, but German immigrants living in Chile also arrived. Nahuel-Huapi Lake was known to Spaniards since the times of the conquest of Chile. Following the trails of the Mapuche people across the Andes, in the summer of 1552 to 1553, the Spanish governor of the captaincy of Chile Pedro de Valdivia sent Francisco de Villejra to explore the area east of the Andes at the latitudes of the city of Valdivia. Francisco de Villejra crossed the Andes through Mamui Malal Pass and headed south until reaching Lime River in the vicinity of Nahuel-Huapi Lake. Another early Spaniard to visit the zone of Nahuel-Huapi Lake was the Jesuit priest Diego de Rosales. He had been ordered to the area by the governor of Chile Antonio de Acuña Cabrera, who was concerned about the unrest of the native Puelche and Poya after the slave hunting expeditions carried out by Luis Ponce de Leon in 1649, who captured Indians and sold them into slavery. Diego de Rosales started his journey at the ruins of Villarrica in Chile, crossed the Andes through Mamui Malal Pass, and traveled further south along the eastern Andean valleys, reaching Nahuel-Huapi Lake in 1650. In 1670, Jesuit Father Nicolas Mascardi, based in Chiloé archipelago, entered the area through the Reloncaví estuary and Todos Los Santos Lake to found a mission at the Nahuel-Huapi Lake, which lasted until 1673. A new mission at the shores of Nahuel-Huapi Lake was established in 1703. Backed financially from Potosi, thanks to orders from the Viceroy of Peru. Historians disagree if the mission belonged to the jurisdiction of Valdivia or Chiloé. According to historic documents, the Poya of Nahuel-Huapi requested the mission to be re-established, apparently to forge an alliance with the Spaniards against the Puelche. Following the 1712 Huilliche rebellion in Chiloé archipelago, some insurgents sought refuge with Father Manuel del Hoyo in the mission. The mission was destroyed in 1717 by Poyas following a disagreement with the missionaries. The superior of the mission had refused to give them a cow. Soon thereafter, authorities learned that 4 or 5 people traveling to Concepcion had been killed by the Poya. The colonists assembled a punitive expedition in Calbuco and Chilo, composed of both Spaniards and Indios Reyunos. The expedition did not find any Poya. In 1766, the head of the mission of Rallan tried to re-establish the mission at Nahul Vapi. But the following year, the Crown suppressed the Society of Jesus, ordering them out of the colonies in the Americas. The area had stronger connections to Chile than to the distant city of Buenos Aires during most of the 19th century. But the explorations of Francisco Moreno and the Argentine camper